Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Wednesday, October the 10th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create multiple trade plans. We do not predict what the market's going to do. What we do is we have a plan in place, wait for the market to open up, and then we execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and we do live trading and analysis during the course of the RTH trading session. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Taking a look at yesterday. Yesterday, we were looking for a rotational day. Our Hypo 1 and Hypo 2 were equally weighted because of the context. And Hypo 1 was a rotation up and then a drift down, but rotational. Hypo 2 was a move down and then a drift up with rotation. And basically, we got Hypo 2. We drifted up, failed at the 2900, rotated back, tried to break out again, failed to get through the 2900s yet again, and then we rotated back into the prior day and basically just chopped sideways with a little bit of an upward bias, and that was really Hypo 2. It's almost Hypo 5 as well, our alternative, which was going to be an inside day, but we can't move to Hypo 5 because we did break out. Again, watch the fact that we continue to see OTF participations on these moves. You can see most of the larger moves had OTF participation, and then when we go sideways, they basically just step aside and let the shorter time frame traders take control. Taking a look at the news, we just did have, what just happened there? Wow, that was weird. We did just have news. We had PPI came out as expected. Year over year came out a little bit better than expected, but Canadian building permits came out weaker than expected. 6 minutes, we've got Red Book. It's not a big mover. Wholesale inventories come in at 10 o'clock. We've got a whole list of Fed speakers throughout this week. Again, as we did last week, we've got Evans speaking at 12:15. 1 o'clock, we've got 10-year and 3-year note. And then we've got the API weekly crude at 4:30. And then later tonight, we have Evans speaking as well. So not a lot of scheduled news beyond the PPI that will move the market. But again, there's all kinds of headline risk right now out there in the world with the Brexits, the Italys, the Fed, China, you name it. It's really been headline news that has been driving this market. Taking a look at the overnight inventory was pretty balanced until we got to this morning and that news. Even before the news, they started moving it down. We put a new low in just before the news, and then we flushed down to the 75.50 on the news, and we're creating a lower distribution with an LVN right here at the 80.50. And this 79 to 80 is going to be very important for us today, and we'll take a look at that in just a minute. But each morning I like to start with a basic exercise. I look at the candlestick chart on a monthly, and then I work my way down in periodicity. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for where we are in the trend. Do we have good slope and separation? Is price paralleling the 9, or is it challenging the 9 in the trend, or is it violating the trend by a break of the 9 and the 20? You can see the monthly very strong. Don't even challenge this trend down until we get into the 2700s. Again, very important to note that we can pull back into the 2700s and still not violate the trend on the longer time frame. Now on the weekly, we are challenging the trend again. We're below the 9 right now and move down to test the downside trend would be 28.37 on the weekly. Below that, then we're got a possibility of a trend change on the weekly. As we move down, you can see on the daily, we are starting to see the possibility of a downward trend. We did, we were one time framing down, and we did violate the one time framing yesterday by a break of Monday's high, but we still didn't get back above the 9. I moved back to test the trend, to the upside right now on the daily. Going to take us all the way back up to 2901.25, and that's within our daily ATR. A little bit beyond our daily ATR now that we've moved down to 75. I got to make adjustments there with this move down. Going to the intraday, the 4-hour, you can see that we were getting strength of trend. They tried to take the trend back and reverse it to the upside, and they failed each attempt, and we're starting to trend down. We got a zipper measured move right now down to 71. Just take a quick look at that so you can see that. Here's the impulse wave, strong impulse wave, 11.5 points, and then we get the zipper, and the measured move is down here to 28.71, and that's not invalidated till we get back up to 89.50. So we are seeing some weakness coming in here. Let's take a look at the structure of the market. You can see that 4-day balance created a microcomposite VPOC at 28.90. We failed to get back above that and hold yesterday, and we closed below it. The value areas, you got to pay attention to these two value areas. The overall, I don't know why this got moved. The overall value area, we're coming down and testing. We tested below it just a couple of minutes ago at 76.75. The 4-day value low is down here at that 28.80, which is basically right at the low from yesterday. So right now, we need to get back above this 28.80 if we're going to get any attempt as a rotation back up into yesterday's range and back up towards that VPOC at 86, and back to possibly the 4-day microcomposite VPOC at 28.90. Overall balance is still above at 28.94.50. So we are seeing some weakness, and this is likely to continue down towards this 28.63.50. Our week low and month low right now is down at 66. So we're looking at the possibility of expanding our week and our month down and coming back down into the next big target. If we can get back above that 28.80, then I think we'll see more of a balanced day and a push up into the 86. We are going to open up with a gap, although the gap is not going to be really huge. So the inventory is slightly negative. It was more balanced, but with this move down, I'd say it's probably about 60%, 65% net short. We've got a clear LVN here as well at that 80.50. So 80.50 area, this trade area right here is going to be our over-under line. And our overnight low, it could change, but right now it's 75.50, and it's likely to change before we get there. But based on the 20-day period daily ATR, their full session 20 period is 22.85, so 28.75.50, and our daily ATR puts our upside daily ATR at 28.98 and a quarter, so that gets adjusted down. And off of the overnight high of 91 and a quarter, our daily downside ATR target is down here at the 68. So we still have room to push lower. The VPOC is not likely to change up here. It's 84.50. And that puts us inside of the value area yesterday. And if we get inside of the value area and we hold in here, this is a valid value area, and I'd be looking for a 80% destination trade up through value up into the value area high, which is up here in the 93 area, and basically a move back up into the 4-day balance, take out the overnight high, and push to the longer time frame balance up here at 94. So in terms of hypotheses, pretty simple. I'm looking for an open auction just out of range or just in range. We still have time to get back inside of range, but outside of value, I'm looking for a rotation up to test the value area, and either we fail in the value area or at the value area low in the overnight VPOC, or we push through and we find responsive sellers, and then we rotate down through the overnight low and push down into testing the month low and this 63 to 68 area. That's mainly hypo 1. Hypo 2 is a open auction just out of range or just in range. Push down, take out the overnight low, and somewhere between the 75 and the 68, responsive buyers step in, rotate us back up inside of the prior day, fight the range low and the value area low, and then push through and make a move back up into the 94 area and basically go sideways in value and around that microcomposite VPOC of 94. That is hypo 2. Hypo 3 is a liquidation break, open test drive, failure to get inside of value yesterday, seller step in early, rotate us down into the 68 to 66, fight the month low, and then break and push down and come down into the 28.54 area. That is hypo 3. Hypo 4 is a take back day, open auction just out of range or just in range, failure to take out the low or just tap the low, and then buyers take control, rotate us up, okay, fight the low, and then take a trip through value, break value area high, and push up and come up and break into the 2900s, and then come back and close somewhere in around this 98 to 94. That is hypo 4. And there's a fifth alternative, which is basically a 9-point range, chop between 71 and 81 as we fight the low and just go sideways. But I think that is less likely. We're either going to move back up into value, or we're going to come down and test the month lows. And that's my two main hypotheses. And again, they're, hypo 1's got, a slight edge on hypo 2, but remember that the buyers keep finding value. The large lots are buying on the dips. So a move back up into balance would not be surprising. Take a quick look at gold. Gold is making a push again to the low side. Again, we haven't broken this fractal low here at 84.30, but any break of that low, I'm looking for a quick move down to test the 1180. And if the 1180 doesn't hold, again, I think the next leg down is going to be down into the 1150. Remember, the average rotation in the larger time frame is between 38 and 43 points, and we're only 26 down. We're really tight, and you see that the rotations, are a lot less than what they usually are for the larger time frame in gold. Key levels to pay attention to: 86, 84, and 96. Anything above 96, look for rotation back up into testing the 1200 and possibly back up into balance at the 1202 area. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.